What's up, DeMarcus? Said Dame Dash trying to be relevant now. You know they all do that. What's up, Golson? But yeah, he's definitely trying to be relevant right now. Good morning to you, my boy. Ain't gonna lie, I think these topics pretty popping right now, man. Yeah, I think we got some good ones. Try to give folks a little bit more time to come in here, like I always do. Stretch it out another minute and a half, maybe two, and we'll get started. Said, did you see the Adrian Broner on It Is What It Is podcast yesterday? No, I didn't. What happened with it? Also, like I told the people on the live yesterday night, if you have any ideas or something like that, topics and stuff that you want to suggest for the morning show or the night show, you can always hit me on IG and send them over to me. It'll actually be greatly appreciated because it'll help me out with picking out some of these topics. Cameron kicked Adrian Bronner off the podcast because he was flirting with Static Baby. I'm not exactly sure who Static is, but what do you mean flirting with his baby? All right, 30 more seconds. Oh, I hope you're talking about flirting with his flirting with his like girlfriend, not an actual baby. Like that's I'm pretty sure. That's crazy. What's good, Ali? All right, so let's get ready to go ahead and get started. Okay, so as y'all can see, we got these 4 topics for today. First on the list, we got your boy Dame Dash. Dame Dash recently went on the Breakfast Club. And he was talking basically about things that he got going on with his finances and other stuff like that. And how he is the chairman of Revolt, things like that. And it didn't go too well for him, to be honest with you, because they ended up exposing him kind of. So we're going to definitely talk about that. Next, this one right here is the controversial topic. I was kind of constipating on, do I want to even speak on the Charlie Kirk situation, because that one is very delicate. A lot of people are very sensitive about this one. And a couple of people, this demonetization thing has been a thing as of late. I don't think it's necessarily about talking about this topic, but still, you do have to be careful, because these people are very careful with what they want to allow us to talk about. So, but anyways, I'm going to dive in on certain things when it comes to him. And then next, of course, we have the Damartravion Reed situation, where pretty much this was the guy who was unfortunately hanging from a tree at a college in Mississippi. And, that has been creating a lot of news. So I'm definitely going to give my take on how I see this thing going on. And lastly, God damn, this thing making out this top. Lastly, we're going to talk about a couple of new topics in regards to the reparations update. So another thing that I was planning on doing is on Wednesday, we're going to always dedicate the last segment to the reparations committee. So that's our 4 topics for today. And let me go ahead and catch up on these comments, and then I'm going to start on this first topic. Treason Wilson, aka Stat Baby, is on the podcast with Cameron and Pace. Got it. Okay. And he was flirting with his girl there. Damn. That sounds like some shit this nigga do now. I'm not saying he was right, but he did mention some things that was obvious. Who you referring to, Ali? Which situation hurt Tariq the worst? Jukebox pistol whipping Tariq. Tariq. I don't know what. Jukebox pistol whipping Tariq. Bentley beating Tariq with the block of oranges. Tariq getting the letter from Bill St. Patrick while in jail, or Kane punching Tariq. I don't know. But honestly, I don't really want to pay too much attention to those type of topics on the morning show like that. This was a night show. I wouldn't have no problem with answering those. Dame is pissed that 50 made Cameron the executive producer paid the vote. Yeah, of course he is. If 50 Cent know what he's doing, he petty as hell for that. But speaking of that, like I said, that is the first topic of the day. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and play part of the interview with Dame Dash and at the Breakfast Club and see what he had to say. I ain't gonna lie, the boy, he actually going out pretty sad right now. It ain't looking good. I'm sorry. Having some damn technical difficulties right now. The hell? There we go.
I'm now the chairman.
Okay, so here we go. This is the interview.
Of Revolt right now, and I also I have 15.
You don't deserve to be the chairman.
I got you. So I'm now the chairman of Revolt with a pathway. You see, because he wants to trigger me, and I want you to acknowledge that. So I'm now Cam's boss, the chairman of Revolt with a pathway to acquisition. I've been trying to buy Revolt.
How do we know this is not Cam? We didn't see this on deadline.
Can you stop yelling? Can you stop interrupting me, please? So, Deadline didn't make the announcement for this particular situation. They didn't want to. I had an announcement I was going to make with BT, but Paramount stepped in and they said do it later. And they didn't want to be a part of this mess. I've been trying to buy Revolt, and I also just did a 25 episode deal for my podcast for Bosses Take Losses, and I'm putting all my content on Revolt.
Dope.
Yes, so that I can see how to monetize. I have to put together a certain kind of a plan for acquisition. So in the next 30 days, I'm gonna just be a real chairman, and then I'm going to, hopefully I'll stay the chairman, but I gotta go make movies.
Somebody would say how? How would you?
You kind of can tell that, he's a little nervous with some of the stuff that he's saying. Like you kind of could read a little bit that, he wasn't telling all the way the truth with this.
Say how? How would you buy Revolt?
Why wouldn't you say congratulations?
You did say congratulations.
Oh, you don't seem excited.
Dope, congratulations.
You have to understand something.
I'm waiting for it to come out of Deadline.
Let me finish.
I'll really be like, yo, I reposted.
Right.
But somebody would say, well,
Now you're going to be Mr. Research, but you asking me why 50 Cent, but you guys got fooled. Wait, let me finish. Real quick. I'm announcing it the day before it's announced. Remember that.
Right.
So I wasn't going to announce it and then say it here. I wouldn't have to, you know what I mean? So I did it and I timed it where it would come out when this comes out. Next week, you'll see Bosses Take Losses on Revolt. So now I'm hustling on his block. I'm now Cam's boss.
You gonna keep Cam show?
Yeah, I'm not going to fire him. He's a good kid, but I'm not going to. The kid, it was cute.
Promotional thing? I thought him taking over was a promotional thing.
That's him. He was the CEO.
But you're doing a real acquisition, you think?
Yes.
How does,
It's not a real
What's your
acquisition.
bankruptcy
There's a road to acquisition.
Okay.
So that's the little part that we had about him. And the sad part about this with Dame, is that shortly after that, as they actually got it right here, because this is part of the Breakfast Club's clip. So they actually got it right here that
Revolt right now.
as you can see on the screen, that this lady said, I just spoke to the lead publicist with Revolt, who confirms to me Dame Dash is not the chairman of the network. So my thing is, Dame, why would you do this? Like, if you know you're not the chairman, bro, why would you come on a major, like, you know how popular this network is. Why would you come on a place like this and just tell a blatant lie like that, knowing they gonna research it like that? Especially as petty as Charlemagne is. Probably Charlemagne is like one of the kings of petty. Only one that's probably trumping Charlemagne and being petty is your other enemy, 50 Cent. And you gonna just go on that show and lie like that just to make yourself feel good, doing this interview and stuff like that. Because, like, of course 50 Cent said that, he don't have any more money, he's going broke and stuff like that. They don't had a lot of embarrassing moments at this point. This didn't happen to him. So I just don't get it, Dame. Why would you do that, man? I mean, I appreciate you doing it because we get good content and stuff for it, but come on, Dame. I actually mess with you a little bit because, we all know, I think Jay-Z absolutely did him wrong and stuff like that. But hey, who hasn't this nigga done? That's how he got so rich. But yeah, Dame, you can't do that, bro. Especially now on the Breakfast Club. Like, maybe if you was on a smaller platform that's not as petty as this one, you could have pulled that off and they wouldn't have did the research and just took you, for word value. But no, not the Breakfast Club. And then one thing I'm gonna say about Charlemagne, Charlemagne be asking for it, bro. And one of these days, he gonna get exactly what he asking for, because you know, some of the time when he be having these gangsters and stuff on his platforms, a lot of them folks didn't check Charlemagne for his mouth. Talia, yeah, apparently so. They said it, and I actually saw an article, a small article, from Revolt that said Dame is not the chairman. So apparently, it seemed like he was lying. So that's kind of crazy. So, but yeah, Charlemagne, this dude, he stayed trying to agitate somebody while they're on there. Like, he'll say slick things. I get it as a good, he's not necessarily a journalist, but you know, it's under that same umbrella, a good radio host or whatever. You kind of want to say triggering things. You kind of want to get them to say stuff to make it you know, a nice interview, provoking them. But how much does that dollar matter to you? Because some of these folks might just go ahead and go all the way with you. And, you know, just saying. I mean, look, you know how it's getting when it comes to these certain topics and stuff, how people don't like when you saying certain stuff, how things could go for you. Speaking of people not liking what you're saying, that is our next topic. So, give me a second. Here. But yeah, like I said, you got to be careful with, you know, some of this stuff that you be just saying and not thinking about, okay, this person, you know, these people might just retaliate for some of this stuff that you're saying. You actually might have to answer to the things that you are saying. Now, under no circumstances, in my opinion, am I gonna? Well, I ain't gonna say under no circumstances. Let me try and take that back. But I'm probably not gonna celebrate the death of anybody just because they said something. But I don't know. I think it's levels to it. Some certain stuff, I don't know. Certain stuff might be just unforgivable. But for some reason, this thing has decided to take one of my slides down because I swear it was here earlier. I'm putting it up here right now for you guys. That's why I'm, you know, kind of getting me a little stall time real quick. Bear with me. I don't know how the hell that happened. Scream, y'all. Sometimes I be feeling like y'all be betraying me. Anyways, like I said, speaking of talking about things that people don't like, as you know, Charlie Kirk, who has been a major star as of late. Hold on, what is going on with the rest of my doggone slide? It's crazy. Anyway, Charlie Kirk has been major news. And you know, his story just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And to be honest, like I said earlier, I really wasn't going to address this, but it's kind of too big of a story not to address. And there's been way too many stories circulating about the death, you know, about the death with him. So, you know, the rabbit hole gets deeper down there, and that, you know, it's actually certain people that believe that he was a sacrifice. So as I got another clip where this guy was breaking it down that about you know, things being very odd in regards to certain things with Charlie Kirk. And, you know, we know he said a whole bunch of somewhat outrageous thing that, you know, upset a lot of communities. But, you know, some people were celebrating. Got so bad to the point that certain people was actually celebrating his death. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say I was celebrating his death, because that definitely wasn't me. But now, let me go ahead and share this clip real quick.
Why the FBI was investigating Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. Back in 2022, during the Biden era, the FBI launched Project Arctic Frost, in which was an investigation on Trump and 92 other Republican groups. Now, they say they were investigating Trump and all these other groups for trying to overturn the 2020 election, which include the RNC, the Republican General Attorneys Association, and Turning Point USA, owned by Charlie Kirk. Now, that's just one example of how the FBI has been weaponized against us, but I do find it odd as well of how fast they're moving when it comes to this whole Charlie Kirk thing. Can we all agree that they're moving really fast with the crime scene? They caught the guy. It's barely even been a week. I mean, they already broken down and rebuilt.
Really quick, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to intervene with that. They are moving really fast. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you this part. I'll give my full take after he finished. It's definitely something fishy going on with that situation. Absolutely, because they were moving fast. And if you can pay attention, at first they had, you know, they had somebody else who they said was the shooter. Then all of a sudden, you know, and they found him rather fast. Not saying that they can't find the guy who was responsible fast, but how did they get him out of all people so fast? He's going to actually show you who's the guy that they had first. And then later they found out, oh, it wasn't him, and then go get the other guy. It's almost as if they had a person staged to, you know, to take the fall in, as soon as this was done.
And rebuilt to where people can walk over the crime scene again where Charlie died. I've even seen footage right after Charlie was ushered out when he got shot. People were already cleaning up the crime scene. It gets even weirder. So you guys know about the killer Tyler Robinson, right? So this is him in his room. This is his screensaver. So what is that, you may ask? That's actually Go Island, New Zealand, but who cares, right? Well, if you remember what Kash Patel said in his press conference, I'm paraphrasing, he said, "Rest easy, brother, I'll meet you in Valhalla." Well, Valhalla is actually a summer house retreat in Go Island, New Zealand. What are the chances? Now, wouldn't it be wild if Kash Patel and the FBI in late July went down to New Zealand to establish a brand new FBI office? This script is writing itself, you guys. I mean, I wonder if this is some type of Easter egg or breadcrumb that they're leaving us to show who's really behind this, because you guys gotta admit, this feels like 2.0 all the way. I mean, come on. And speaking of JFK, isn't it weird? Just like this scenario, they reopened the plaza to the public where JFK died just a day later. They restored public access to the plaza within 24 hours. And you guys remember this guy, George Zim, who they said it was at first when they arrested him, and then they said it wasn't, so they let him go, but he was just causing a distraction. Well, guess what? He just got...
That was the guy that I was talking about. You know, they called him first. And I remember they said it was him at first. Then all of a sudden, they was like, nah, it's not him. Ended up releasing him.
Hit with PDF file charges. Now, there's no way they didn't know that, so it sounds like they're tying up loose ends. He's probably gonna get Epstein. And this guy was a master distraction artist. He called in a bomb threat to the Salt Lake City Marathon, and he said he was a witness to 9/11, and he was certain that Al-Qaeda did it. That tells you everything you need to know. And here's a bonus one for you guys, where a chief rabbi sends his condolence letter to Charlie Kirk's family on September 2nd. Now, he either has a time machine or it could be a typo. You be the judge. And these are the text transcripts that the FBI released between Tyler and the trans lover. I don't know about you guys, but this looks fabricated to me, because what 22-year-old uses complete sentences and punctuation? This looks like a 50-year-old.
It's definitely crazy how that, you know, that particular letter has the wrong date on it. You know, the fact that it has September the 2nd on there. And we know that Charlie was taken out on the 10th. So how is it possible that you would have this letter ready on the 2nd? I mean, the odds of, you know what I'm saying, somebody that high up actually accidentally getting the date wrong by over a week, it's kind of crazy.
Trying to be a 22-year-old. And last, but definitely not least, on the same day Charlie Kirk dies, September 10th, Hulu releases this movie called Tempest, in which a politician gets shot in the neck in public. What are the chances? Anyways, make sure you guys get into my Telegram and let me know what you guys think below.
So that's the quick little clip. And yeah, that's also crazy, you know, the fact that Hulu released that movie and that's the thing about these people. They play in our face all the time like this. Like that's part of their thing. You know, they're gonna show it to you. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe someone said that The Simpsons had something very similar. And there was also a book that was written that it was kind of something like that. So it's definitely something fishy going on with this situation. Let me go ahead and catch up on these comments and I'll finish this topic off on more things that I noticed with this situation. You say trolling and provoking is a good publicity? Absolutely it is. But at the same time, you got to be ready because some of the times you provoke the wrong people, you can get cooked. Some of the people are legends and G's and they be playing too much. Yeah. There was a YN got expelled from Texas University for a mocking. Yeah, I saw that, Ali. I saw that. CK could not be held as such, but this is America. In a twisted way, trolling and provoking promotes the story and keep people talking. Unfortunately, that's the truth. I have no idea who this Charlie person is. Really? It's been blowing up everywhere, Talia. History repeats. The old man, George Zinn, said he was the shooter at the scene to help the real shooter get away. They raided the old man's house and found child pornography on his computer. So he is back in jail now. Crazy. Good. Appreciate you sharing that information, Takari. I didn't know that. People are celebrating Charlie Kirk death just like they did with Kevin Samuels. Yeah, that was pretty bad with Kevin Samuels. Like Kevin Samuels, bro. Although you know a lot of people disagree with what he was saying, but he was spitting a lot of facts. Some folks say what the hell they want. He was spitting a lot of facts. Now Charlie Kirk, you know, with the situation with them believing it was, you know, racist and stuff like that, is a little bit more, you know, makes a little bit more sense because when you're doing stuff like hatred towards a certain group of people, it makes a little bit more sense. Still not saying that I condone any, you know, celebration of somebody being killed. But anyways, people, let's see what else I have down here. Charlie Kirk N-word video. What do you mean Charlie Kirk N-word video? Are you saying he has a video the way he said it? This is the Tupac situation all over again with Charlie Kirk, especially around 9/11. I don't know. Hansie didn't come in today. But yeah, so I'm going to tell you from the jump. It's actually, you know, Taj, who's going to get ready to come in here and speak on the reparations later on. He was the first one to alert me about the Charlie Kirk situation because he has a close friend that actually knows Charlie. So I actually knew that he died before they announced it because it was shared to me. And when I saw the video, the moment I saw the video, I was like, okay, yeah, this is fishy. Because first off, it looked exactly the same as the shots that was done when, you know, Trump was shot, right? It looked like the same type of thing. It was a guy on the roof crouching down with a rifle. The shot sounded exactly the same. And then I'm not going to share the video because, you know, it's a very controversial video, and then, you know, you just shouldn't be showing nobody's death. But speaking of the death video, that's another thing that's very odd to me, people. Normally, when it's something like that, Facebook would censor. You know what I'm saying? They would censor this type of stuff. But for some reason, this video was able to surface. Not just surface, like it was everywhere. Like I seen different angles of it and stuff like that. Like it was one wide shot of it, and then it was another one where, you know, they actually showed him close up when he got hit. I'm like, dang, they actually showing this? Because, you know, Facebook would go all out to censor stuff like this. Normally, they would have wiped all these videos. But the fact that it was just floating everywhere, that also tells me that it's some kind of agenda that is being pushed here. But on top of that, lastly, it also looked like it was a guy in one of the angles of the videos. There was a guy signaling when to take the shot to take him out. So whatever is going on with that situation, it was something fishy. Now, I'm not going to really get into, you know, whether or not he was a R word and all that, because like I told you, folks been getting demonetized. I'm not trying to get cooked. But I'm just saying that this situation is kind of crazy. So what did Charlie do? My phone been broken. I just finished moving and got my Wi-Fi here, so I'm locked. Okay. So basically, Charlie was a guy, from what I can say, I don't know a whole lot about him. Charlie was a guy that would go and, you know, do interviews and stuff like that not interviews, like debates at schools and stuff like that. And from what I can see, he has some crazy takes sometimes. But I also will say this, that with some of the videos, they were manipulated. And the thing with the manipulation is that what I tell people all the time, and I'm going to also tell my people here, anytime you're seeing a controversial or crazy topic where they're trying to push that somebody is a racist, if somebody is a fascist, like they say, or, you know, they're saying that this person did something that's crazy and it looks like it might possibly be an agenda being pushed, challenge it. If the video that they're using to say this person said this, if that video is less than 30 seconds, challenge it. Because what they do is they take part of what you have to say and then manipulate it to make it look like, you know, you're saying something that you're not. For instance, I actually covered this on one of my other shows, I think last week sometime. Yeah, it was last week, with Michelle Obama, right? They were using a clip of Michelle Obama saying this is admission, that she's saying that she's a man, right? And what she said in the clip was that basically, this is for me as a black man, you know, what do you think of that? She was actually speaking to Marlon Wayans and was speaking in, you know, in third person. She was speaking for him. But they were trying to make it look like she was saying me, myself, as a black man. And since the clip was so short, you wasn't able to see what was going on. So what I'm saying is they use those tactics all the time. And we have to be careful with this situation. But yeah, Talia, basically, this is the guy that the black community is hating a whole lot because they're saying that he was put out to be as a very as a super racist that were pushing hatred and stuff throughout the nation. So that is the reason why a lot of blacks and LGBTQ community people are celebrating the death of him, because he was against both of those. He said some pretty crazy stuff about black people, and he had strong beliefs against the letter people as well. Covered the situation with singer DVD. His car was towed for being parked illegally at the impound. Like they found a body in the trunk. It was identified as his 15-year-old girlfriend. Dang. All right, I'm gonna put that in my submission. I appreciate that, Takari. Putting that up there so that I can actually so I can actually remember that later when I'm doing my cuts. So anyways, though, I haven't been on this one for quite a while. Let me go ahead and move on to the next topic. The next topic, we have another one that was this one was actually pretty sad, and it sucks that it even happened. So, for our next topic, Delta State University staff found the body of Damartravion Reed, a 21-year-old student hanging from a tree in the middle of the campus on Monday morning. For those of y'all that don't know, this Delta State University place is located in Mississippi. His death set off a wave of mourning across the university and prompted the cancellation of centennial events for the 100-year-old institution. Damn, it's crazy. Delta State University police held a press conference Monday afternoon announcing that no foul play is currently suspected in Reed's death and no threat to campus existence. And that's kind of crazy. But I'm gonna also play what the officer had to say about this particular situation, with them claiming that it was no foul.
Confirmed the deceased individuals that the deceased individual was discovered on our campus. At approximately 7:05 a.m., the university police was notified of what appeared to be the body of a black man hanging from a tree central campus near the BSU pickleball courts. We later identified the male subject to be 21-year-old Damartravion Reed of Grenada, Mississippi. Mr. Reed's next of kin has been notified. At this time, there's no evidence of foul play. While there's no evidence of foul play, the body has been retrieved by Bolivar County Coroner's Office. As you can see behind me, I've requested the assistance of the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, Bolivar County Sheriff's Office, and Cleveland PD to assist us in this ongoing investigation.
All right, so that is the article. That is the video of the statement that was released by, the Delta State University college, basically indicating at the end that it was no foul play. Okay. Now, us as black people, we already know that's cap. Come on, bro. That's cap. But the fact that they tried to pull this off. And then let me tell you the worst part about this. The worst part about this is that anytime some bull crap like this is going on, anytime some bullshit like this is going on, they always get them a token COON Black to come out and speak to the people on their behalf. They never bring out the people like, and you can't tell me, that's just probably how it was. That's the chief or whatever. I don't want to hear none of that shit. This is not an HBCU. So that means majority of the staff and the students are white there. Also, keep in mind, this is Mississippi. So they deliberately made sure they found a black officer to come and deliver that, because they think we're so gullible and so stupid that if we have one of them that looks like us, well, to be honest with you, majority of us fall for this shit. So I don't even blame them for doing it, unfortunately. But they think when they get one of us that look like us to come out and say it, we'll accept it. That's the whole reason why they gave us President Barack Obama. Sorry, not sorry. That's why they gave us him, because the message would be seen differently if one of us gave it to us. Somebody that looked like us, wear this skin, and you saying the same BS that they want you to say. You can still get your message across without it coming out, this a racist thing. So that's what they do. So they're gonna get him to come out and say there was no foul, bro. Let's just say that this guy was ill, right? Let's say he was ill. He didn't want to live no more, and he just decided he wants to end himself. Bro, let's be real. This is a black man. You can't tell me that he's not familiar with lynching, even though he's only 21 years of age. You can't tell me that he's not familiar with how lynching was done back in the day. You're telling me that this guy that didn't want to live no more, that was just going to commit suicide, went and hung himself. When black people don't want to live no more, bro, we're going to do stuff like maybe jump off a building, get a gun and unalive yourself, or something like that. We're not going to a tree at that. Like, it'd been different if he was in a jail cell. Because, in the jail cell, it's popular for when they, get some sheets or something like that tied together and hang yourself up in the jail cell. You could kind of push that. But at a university, somebody that's 21 years old, tie himself around his neck and hang himself from a tree. Come on, bro. Nah, that's foul play. And y'all knew it, but y'all didn't give a damn. Y'all went ahead and did that. And it's really sickening and it's foul. Let me check some of these comments. Sure, I admit some stuff I haven't said. Regardless of what kind of person people think the man was, he did not deserve to die, especially in front of his kids and wife. Right. Absolutely. Anyways, do you think that Mike Pence will speak on this situation about Charlie Kirk? Oh no, honestly, I haven't even thought about dude in forever since he was the vice president of Trump. I forgot he existed. The man's body was broken. What do you mean, Ali, when you say his body was broken? Yeah, definitely need camera footage. For sure. But guess what? They're going to say that it's no cameras available. They're not going to. There's no way they're going to say they're going to show any camera footage, even if it is something that exists. There's no way they're going to show it because the cameras is going to end up showing that it was some kind of foul play. I hope you do a video on Molly Quorum leaving ESPN. I know Jalen Rose somewhere laughing. I wasn't planning on doing it, but DeMarcus, if you request it, I might just throw it up in tomorrow's show. Yeah, exactly, Ali. The exact same tactics every single time. They don't, bro. It's like the scriptures say. There's nothing new under the sun. They use the same stuff, but like I said, why would they switch it up and keep working? Right. So nobody saw them. You know they're gonna say nobody saw them. Hey, yeah, Michael Lee be getting getting no support ass. I actually was trying to save him a little bit. He was starting to irk me. I was about to say support, but go ahead and do it. This might is getting known. But at the same time, I want folks to have the freedom to express what they want to express. So I try to keep it, fair game around the board. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and head to our last topic of the day. And like I told y'all, Wednesdays will be dedicated to reparations, the last topic. So Reparations Wednesdays, and I'm getting ready to bring Taj back up to go ahead, and we're going to cover some more interesting information on what's new with reparations. All right, Taj, I got you in there.
All right. Glad to be back. How we sound?
It's clear on my end.
All right.
Yeah, speaking of which, how is my audio?
Shout out to the chat section.
My audio good because I'm actually using I got a new mic. I upgraded a little bit. It sound clear?
Yeah, sound clear over here.
Cool.
Audio is good. Shafira said audio is good.
Wonderful.
We in the chat section today, y'all.
Okay, so we got Reparations Wednesday's last topic of the day.
That's right.
So me and Taj the other day was chopping it up, and we were just talking about a variety of different topics, and one of the things that I found very interesting is so one of the things, let's go ahead and start on how Trump was basically shooting down. I believe you said it was North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep.
Because he's saying that when it comes to these type of reparations, it can't be, when you do the writing, the layout can't be for a specific group of people. It got to be. You can explain it better than I can. Go ahead.
Yeah, American heritage base. It has to be American heritage lineage base. So it's not a race. It's unconstitutional to do anything based on race, and that's why they was able. As soon as Trump got in there, he was able to take away the DEI stuff because of the Supreme Court ruling that was in favor of getting rid of the race factor. So it's unconstitutional to do anything in the United States based on race. So our case for reparations is American heritage, lineage based, where it's a specific group, not just everybody on the planet that look like this.
Right. So the wording has to be different. And I'm guessing, so what was it that, North Carolina, if what was it that North Carolina specifically had in theirs that basically made Trump flag it and be like, nah, nigga, this ain't flying?
Right, it's race based. Like, so if you check out that top line where it say RE, that's short for reason. They letting you know right off the rip. They straight off the dribble. They're letting you know what the issue is. And
Yeah,
it
you got it right here. Unlawful race-based discrimination.
that says it all right there. Unlawful. And remember, we was just saying it's unconstitutional to base anything in the United States on race. But you can base something off of like a specific incident, specific discrimination. And that's what happened to us. That was specific. That was very specific to a group of people. What we call FBAs, foundational, American freedmen. So this is based off American heritage, Black American heritage, lineage base.
Okay.
Let me see what's going on in the comment section. All right, you got it, James.
We know news.
After his medicine. Yeah.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
speaking of which, another thing for me that I found interesting and stuff like that. Remember, we talked about, because we know certain groups have already received their reparations, and one of those groups is the Japanese. They received their reparations after, due to the event that took place after what, World War I, or was it two? Two. I'm tripping. Two. So they received one of the main things that actually really got us as Black Americans talking was like, how is it that you guys giving the Japanese theirs when y'all did what y'all did to us way before that, like over 100 years before that even happened.
That's right.
Y'all wronged us, but refused to give us something. So I found that very interesting, and then it didn't take them that long. You said, well, go ahead and give me the number. You said they filed what year?
1988. This is what the Civil Liberties Act of 1988. So they filed in 1988.
And they received theirs what year?
1989, no later than 90.
Incredible. So that it was done pretty damn quick.
Absolutely. Somebody, Sapphira just put, what reparations did the Japanese folks get? Jamie, you said it was going to be some people that was uninformed. So Sapphira, you said
why I had to have this stuff ready.
Yeah, she said, what reparations did the Japanese folks? So Sapphira, hope I'm saying your name right. Type in, when you get a chance, check out Civil Liberties Act of 1988. And that'll tell you all about the reparations.
I got the article here.
You got it.
Pulling it out.
There it is, right?
So that's kind of touching on it.
Yeah, we brought receipts today. You see the headline, the ongoing ruins of Japanese Americans' incarceration 30 years after the Civil Liberties Act. There it is. So we brought receipts today, party people. Everybody.
It's crazy that they got it so fast, though. I mean, I'll give it this, because I know that what some of the naysayers and the people that's against it, and more notably certain, I'm just gonna call it spade a spade, certain white people that's gonna say it was much less of them, which it was, but it still doesn't mean wrong is not wrong. Because it wasn't like it was only like maybe a few. It was thousands. It was in the thousands. So obviously, when it comes to the FBA, it's going to be millions. And their settlement was only 20,000, if I'm correct, right?
Right, 20,000.
Yeah, and it says it right here. Someday I remember skimming through it. Here it is, right here. Actually, they got the number, I believe.
Look at that. Look at that.
Said power concedes nothing without a demand. Then says, what's this? 82,219 Japanese American citizens and legal residents received reparations in the form of $20,000.
Here it
to
is.
account as formality for what they had lost. So you want to give them a very brief. I mean, it's here in the article too, but I don't want to spend time reading all of it. But I'm pulling this article here so you guys can reference to know. For the people that were saying, "Oh, that's not it," and the last time we was doing it, You seeing the shit right here in your fucking face. You can look at it now. But
let's go to All In real quick. All In with All I See said 89. That was good money in 89. And he also, Jamie, we just talked about this in our prep call. He said America is critically ill. They never felt this the part right here we talked about in our prep call. They never felt we were human, so they don't feel wrong. It was written in that, bruh. We talked about, so remember we was talking about if they looking at us like sub-Saharan Africans, then it's exactly what All In would. Yeah. So they looking at us like, okay, you niggas is some sub-Saharan Africans who didn't even have literature. And that part is true. When you study sub-Saharan Africa, sub-Saharan means everything under Egypt and Ethiopia. When y'all look at that map of Africa, you see like that brownish part at the top. That's the Saharan desert. So they're saying all the greenery you see under that desert, those people didn't even have literature. They didn't have writing and reading until the 1800s. So back to All In with All I See. American is critically ill. They never felt we were human, so they don't feel wrong. It was written in the so if take it from there, James.
well, you know how I feel about this. Hold on, let me address a couple more.
But we just talked about so All In on point because we just talked about that in our you pulled it up good so everybody can see. There it is. He nailed it. And we just so if they're looking at Sister Keith, so you got some of us who subscribe that, nah, man, we're the biblical Israelites. And we ended up in America. And then you got others who subscribe and say, okay, nah, we just sub-Saharan Africans who was brought to America. And then so slavery benefited them. That need to be the topic right there.
Do you think there's really a chance of reparations, or is this, I'm reading the comment, or is this just a tactic to get future black votes? So I don't know if I'll say, this is a tactic to just get black votes. And when you say, is this a tactic to get black votes, D, a tactic from who specifically, that when you say this?
She can't be talking about the Democrats. D, I see you, D. Do you think there's really a chance with reparations, or is this just a tactic to get future black? So check this out, D. If it's a tactic, it's not a tactic by the Democrats because they're not even pushing it. The Democrats are focusing on immigration over reparations. So they're telling you, they showing us their true color, bright blue. Light from light blue to bright blue. They showing us, hey, we'll rather focus on immigration. Let me also put something else out there. What now that I'm thinking about it. Let me go back to that article, go back to the top of it to show y'all something. You see this at the top? You notice something? Who is that right here with these Japanese people? Put it out there.
President Ronald Reagan.
Yep, look at that.
Hollywood. A Republican.
Yep.
Not a Democrat.
Yep.
They gave them reparations.
I didn't even catch that, Jamie. Good catch, Jamie. I didn't even catch that. Good catch, bro. Yeah. Great catch. So, and here's another thing. Like, remember when Ice Cube first put up his bill for what was it called again? The contract with Black America. Contract with Black America. When he put that out there, Trump said he thought it was a good idea. He'll look into it. And Biden said, oh, we'll talk about that after I win the election. Basically, he's saying he's not, bro, get the hell out of here, nigga. That's basically what he was saying. Yeah, clearly. And what I'm saying is we have another Republican, and folks have done a lot of comparison to Trump and Reagan. So all I'm saying is that they're both Hollywood presidents. Carry on. Both former Hollywood presidents. Another great one. So what I'm saying is this might be our best chance to get this thing pushed out. It is. It really. See, we can't, like you said in the last show, Jamie. We can't get caught up in the hate Trump, because the best comparison is them damn pandemic compensation checks, bro. Wasn't nobody tripping on him putting his name on. They were like, man, just give me my check. I don't care who signed the mother. And now I'm pretty sure if them reparations was to get passed,
they're gonna do the same thing. They might still talk dirt on his name going out. Which
now D gave us some clarity. D said, I meant tactics by MAGA. I kind of figured that's what she was talking about, because it clearly can't be the Democrats. They avoiding that shit at all costs. You want to speak to that, James? So she is talking about.
Okay, so this is my thing. You're saying with MAGA, cool. Obviously we don't know for sure, but I will say this. I mean, Trump, he's done after this. Unless he actually do what the Democrats are saying he's gonna do and try to become a dictator and force a third term, he's done after this. So
yeah, he's done now.
He doesn't have any reason to entertain it.
Right.
Because he can't get back in office anyway.
This is all legacy. This is all obituary legacy. This is him polishing off. And remember, he's trying to make America great again. And you can't do that without repenting the original sin. Can anybody help? I know that's kind of mixing the spiritual and the political, but can anybody help me understand how you gonna make America great and you won't even repent your original sin?
Yeah, like, but DeMarcus, you're saying that we can still count as 3/5. That's not part of the Constitution, though.
No more. Right. It's no longer a part.
Yeah.
But now we could use that just to prove that they did look at us as subhuman, and they're basically saying reparations made you. The governor of Florida boldly put it in print. He got it in print. Like, yeah, we did slavery. You guys should be thanking us. Slavery made you guys better. Now, if you subscribe to being sub-Saharan African, then you can lean to that point they're trying to make. But if you subscribe to no, Black Americans are biblical Israelites, then it's about, are you gonna bless Israel or not? Just like the guy, what's his name, Ted Cruz said, he was raised to bless Israel. So what? So some Black Americans are biblical Israel. Mm-hmm. So you can't look at us. The point I'm making is you can't look at the Black Americans that are biblical Israel like sub-Saharan Africans, because when they look at you like sub-Saharan Africans, they're looking at it like slavery did you a favor. Take it from there.
So, like I was saying, and then think about this: when Trump knew he lost the election, this is another thing. When he knew he lost the election to Biden, at the end of 2020. Going to 2021, what did he do on his way out? That nigga freed a bunch of niggas.
He did. Over that black, yeah, he did.
He did. So what I'm saying is, who knows? Maybe towards the back end of this, his last fuck you to the Democrats is that let me pass this reparations to these niggas. Fuck you out there, man.
And he's doing that. So let's add this on there. He's doing it to clean off the reputation of United States. You have to remember, it has the opportunity to go down as one of the greatest nations in world history.
Yeah, look, if he does this is another thing that we should be considering. If he does this, we know Trump loves to pat himself on the back and stroke his ego. We know that. What else could stroke his ego better than, yeah, I was the president who gave the Black
That's
American
right.
reparations.
And
this nigga is egotistic enough to probably do some shit like that.
Now, Jamie, I'm glad you said that because you triggered this memory. So I'm about to put in our chat real quick a bill that he did in his first term acknowledging that Black Americans are biblical Israel. Because it connects.
Oh, yeah, please do that because I'm gonna put it right up.
That's in his first term. And look, man, this ain't no stunt for Trump, not from my behalf. I'm just
calling. Not for mine either. I tell folks this all the time. This is what I be trying to tell folks. I just be wanting to get people to see the Democrats for who they really are. And what sucks about it is that when trying to show up the Democrats to show Black people that they're not for us either, it looks like you're defending Trump. And that's not the case. It's just, it is what it is. Truth is truth.
Right on. You want to go?
It's very similar, I think, but it's still wrong to do. I know the immigrants today have been brought to the U.S. to be cheap, exploitable labor, and now they are being used as scapegoats.
That's a fire. Then we got all in. You got it, Jane.
That's why I don't understand those who don't see this as prophecy put on.
So, all right. So now shout out to All In for saying that. Now, All In, there's already. So Trump already made the connection from Genesis 15:13 to that bill, the HR 12. It's the HR 1242, where he connects the 400-year prophecy. Remember, according to the United States, they start the timeline. They draw the timeline at 1619. So in 2019, remember that was his first term. In 2019, it was the 400-year prophecy.
Right,
but
that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Well, he got a whole bill on that. Like this, I mean, that bill, because he didn't need no money, he was able to do an executive order for that. See, when you got to go through Congress for money, then you got to do it like he did the big beautiful bill. So All In say, I'm reading the 16. All right, so you got the 1619 part, right? All In now. When you get a chance, no rush, pull up HR 1242, and that's going to show you the bill that he did in his first term, acknowledging the 1619 to 2019 400 year. So we are, as he said, his coming above, and I want to get to somebody.
So this in here.
Let's not skip over DeMarcus. DeMarcus say, who would y'all say is a better president, Ronald Reagan or Donald Trump? They both are actors. Who would you say, Johnny?
Shit. I can't say. I wasn't born for Ronald Reagan. Really. So it's kind of hard for me to say.
I would say Trump, because he's willing to make the tough decisions regardless of people's feelings. And that's a leader. To be honest with y'all, I'm not talking about him personally. I'm saying anybody who has the courage to make a tough decision, although it's going to hurt people's feelings, that's a real leader.
That is true. But yeah, like I say, I just know stuff that was said, and I haven't done a lot of thorough research on Reagan for me to really come up with answers.
Well, I could tell you this: Reagan kind of went against us. That's what you get the term Reaganomics. You probably heard the term Reaganomics before. So he did a lot of he did a lot of tax cuts for the rich too, like Trump. Because they rich people, so that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna give tax cuts to the rich, So, but just based off
speaking of the tax cut for rich, I just got to put this out there, and I've been telling people this. That I always it's sad because we don't understand. When I say we, I'm talking about Black America. We don't understand things so much that we think anything is a tactic against Black people, and the Democrats just eat it up and then just prey on us when it comes to this. Y'all do know when they give tax cuts to rich, it helps us too, right? And I'm gonna tell you how. Rich people, when you own, regardless of what the rules and what the taxes and stuff of the land are, they're still gonna still hold all the power, because when you own, you control how the stuff works. So let me give you a quick example. Let's just use Tesla. I don't know why I'm thinking of Tesla right now, but I'm gonna use Tesla. So if they raise the taxes on Elon Musk, right, and say, all right, you was paying 30%, now you about to pay 60%. What's gonna happen is, all right, this Tesla car here used to be $30,000. They taxing me so much, guess what? Now it's $45,000. He's still gonna get his money. So now you, the middle class and the poor, have to pay more because they rose the taxes, and now they're gonna get their money and use it for stuff that's not gonna be helping you. They're just lying. They're pocketing it. And then this is another thing you guys should check out with Democrats. Each time a Democrat get into office, they be broke, but when they come out of office, they be 50 rich. How? So that's what I'm saying. If you allow them to take the tax cuts, they don't have to raise their prices as high. Now people can afford it better, and now ultimately it still helps you. But I think a lot of us don't understand that.
All in is 42, not 92. That's close. You was close. HR 1242.
I got it sitting right here, right?
Oh, you got the 1242 sitting right here?
Yeah, you see it?
Oh, hold on. My bad. God damn. No, I was in the comment section, so I did. Yeah, did. Hey, thanks, Jamie. So, so all in. Then I wanted to get back because what's her name? Sapphira, and then I think DeMarcus made a good. I'm trying to. Yeah. So Jamie pulled it up already. All right. So DeMarcus and Jasmine Crockett district could be the first female president. All right, we'll see. All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and answer that. Since I see you said, what do you think of Jasmine Crockett? I don't like her. I think she's a clown. I'm gonna go ahead and answer it for you.
Yes.
And I seriously doubt her ass win.
You gonna elaborate, or that's it? That's just a slam dunk statement.
I mean, he asked me the question. He didn't ask me to elaborate, but if you want me to, because bro, she's the same as the rest of them. She deliberately lies and pushes agendas. That's the reason why. Like my thing is, stop trying to manipulate people.
Right, well, she just had a moment where she kind of got her, what do you want to call it, a wake-up call, because she was supposed to get appointed to a certain committee, and they chose somebody else. So it kind of let her know, like, yeah, we just using you to, you know. So now
and then you know what's crazy is all this stuff, the way she be talking and how she be doing, she didn't come from that. She didn't grow up like that. Like, she acts kind of like a hood black woman, right? But she didn't come from that. Because
that goes, well, you would have to look up what they call the double consciousness to and I'm not defending her, you know, but I mean, I'll defend. So they saying a lot of us got the double consciousness.
So what it is that politicians are also actors to a degree. I'm an actor. You too. You know, you're into acting too. I know an act when I see it.
And so you
pay attention. It's the same rhetoric that Kamala Harris tried to pull. She all of a sudden started acting like a black woman. She never acted like that at first. Then all of a sudden,
who's doing a better job? Who's doing a better job acting black, Jasmine Crockett or Kamala Harris?
Well, Jasmine Crockett is black. She don't have to act well. She is.
Right.
She is
so
black.
why is you saying that's an act? That's not an act. Most black people.
No, let me explain what I mean by it's an act.
It's called the job interview. What you call it? The job interview English, and then you got the how we talk. And she do both. A lot of us can do. I've always been an entrepreneur, so I didn't have to do the job interview English.
What I'm saying is that when she act like certain types of black woman, that's an act. That's not her natural demeanor. That's what I'm saying. Just like Kamala, that wasn't her natural capacity of how she acts. What she does, what I'm saying is she's doing that because she know that would be more relatable to a lot of the voters that they're trying to reach.
Hey, Jamie, you catching some smoke. You might want to hit that comment section right now. Sapphira,
okay, what they say?
Hey, why do you feel that way about Jasmine? All In wants to know exactly that's why it's not genuine. And then D say there would never be a female president. This country hates women. That's the bottom line. White men hate women. That's a fact. And we can use their history to prove that. You can't really say that about us.
Wait, hold on. We pro or neutral to Trump in here.
Yeah, I meant that. I wanted to get. I was saying
Reagan and Trump are both presidents for rich institutions. Neither one cares about the little guy. Yeah. I believe that Jasmine Crockett could be the first female president. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't looked at the comments in a while. I thought Project 2025 originated from Reagan. Why do you feel that way about Jasmine? Well, I already gave my explanation on it. Exactly, that's why it's not genuine. Yeah, because it's not genuine, right? Them folks be capping. I don't know how we keep falling for the same
so
shit.
You saying Jasmine not genuine? When she do her
no, she's not, bro, because I told you she doesn't come from that.
You sure about that? Because
yes, bro, she didn't come from that.
South Dallas hood as hell. You ever been to South Dallas, Oak Cliff, and all that shit?
Jasmine grew up in like rich parts and stuff like that, bro.
We got to fact check that, bro. I mean, I'm going to defend the black women until I can't no more. But
you tried to do that with so-called Kamala, and look what happened.
You're right. I had to throw the towel in on Kamala.
I'm telling you, bro. It's like all this shit is an act. I'm not here to attack her.
No, but Jasmine from
I'm
South
just being honest.
All this, she from Dallas. Dallas. Jasmine from South Dallas. It don't get more hood than South Dallas. She said, yes, very sure.
Look, she said Jasmine code switching.
South Dallas.
Look, she's not, bro. I'm telling you. She act one way to get allowed into the power square. Exactly. That's what she's doing.
All in done exposed the lady. She said, yes, very sure. I'm from Oak Cliff in South Dallas. She was not. So you saying Jasmine is not from Oak Cliff or South Dallas?
I'm telling you, bro. It's an act.
So Jasmine went to Bishop Dunn. I used to date a girl out of Dallas. I could relate to Jasmine Crockett more than Kamala Harris. Yeah, I could rock.
Yeah, we agree that, DeMarcus. We all could relate to Jasmine more than
He's gotta act one way to get allowed into the power structure. Sapphira, that's the job interview.
But this is the thing also with Jasmine. Let me tell y'all this something. This is another thing, reason why I said is very highly unlikely she'll win. Kamala wasn't a real black. I've been telling folks that. She's Indian. And whenever they do let somebody in that's a so-called black into a place of power, it got to be a watered-down black that's mixed or some shit like that. Jasmine looks like us. She looks very much like us. So they're going to push hard against her. They're not going to allow her to get too far, unfortunately.
D say, damn, D stirring the pot. D say, sorry, hates women applies to all men. Damn, she put all in caps. They're always a problem, always something, and on top of that, women hate. That's true. I've witnessed y'all hate on each other now. Throughout my whole life, I've seen that. So other countries with women in power will always be ahead of us. Michelle Obama would be better. And they stirring the pot in your comment section. This Reparations Wednesday.
Well, I think if
sorry,
Michelle was to make an attempt at it, she probably would have the best shot. But she's already openly said that she doesn't, want to.
Yeah, she shouldn't. Why would we want her under attack like that? When people, you see what they do to her out of office. All kind of.
And keep in mind, she's been on record and said that she doesn't want. She didn't even want Barack to go for a president.
Right. Why do you feel like that, though? Sorry, hates women applies to all men. They're always. Yeah, she done did her little Barbie dialogue. D, why you feel like that? They're always a problem, always something. And Jamie, Jamie, you hate all. See,
I definitely don't hate women, but I think whenever you hold women accountable and tell the truth about them, it's considered hate. I'm sorry. I was telling Fakila this same thing last night.
Yeah, D, sometimes we got to save y'all from yourselves. That's our duty, not our job, because we don't get paid for it, but
Yeah.
All right, so
anytime it's just like, I'm gonna say this, and I'm not even trying to compare them as a child, but to a degree, it's kind of relatable. When you're raising a child, and when they are a little small child, they love you, they cling to you, stuff like that. They don't really see nothing wrong with the stuff you're telling them too much, because they look at you as everything. And when they start to become a teenager, that's when, particularly the women, I'm not even talking about the boys more so, they be like, man, I can't stand my dad on certain stuff, because you're trying to stop them from doing mistakes that they're about to make. You can see it, but they can't. And you're trying to get in the way of it, and they really want to do it. Like they want to go to a party that they shouldn't be attending or something like that. You as a father, like, hell no, you ain't going to do that. They see that as, oh, you doing this because you hate me. But it's not that we hate them. We see what the bigger picture is. As the leaders that God has put us on earth to be, we can see stuff that women just can't see. So they love to say, oh, you hate us because of that. No, it's not hate. We're defending you from yourselves, like he just said.
Yeah, well, all in it came back to her senses. She said the father holds the standard, so we buck the system. Now, all in, I read a comment earlier. You said you're a black woman, right? So I'm gonna make sure I get the gender right.
Yeah, she is.
All right, cool. So all in say the father holds the standard, so we buck the system. Now, what the hell that mean when she say we? Is that the females, y'all trying to buck the system, or the father trying to hold the standard together?
Yeah, that's what it is. And that goes back to we can wrap it up with this. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. That goes back to when I was saying liberty.
James Safari done jumped in with. I told you in one of our prep calls you was gonna get hit with that misogynistic.
That's
stuff.
fine, dude. This is not the first time that I've heard a woman say that.
Sounds kind of.
Not the first.
I don't want that label on me though. I'm not misogynistic. I'm not
either.
She said, yes, I'm a black woman who doesn't agree with all things women do. Because y'all hate on each other a lot. I go around here. I got a black sister, black brother.
It's not misogynistic. Misogynistic. This is another thing. I think a lot of women that try to say that, they don't even know the definition of it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Demarcus Condoleezza Rice was way smarter than Condoleezza. Facts. I can start right there.
I agree with you too. Yep.
And I could relate to Condoleezza. All right, so Demarcus still.
If Condoleezza Rice was, younger, if we could make her younger and put her in this time to
run. I'm a man.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I had to change it.
Okay.
Oh, you're a man.
Right. Yeah, well, the name kind of.
Still doesn't change what I'm saying.
Right. You said
man or woman, it doesn't matter because you got a lot of men that simp to women and stuff like that too. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep that shit running. They think when you're telling them something that's the truth, you're being mean. You're doing no, bro. We don't have. This is the thing. It's like Kevin saying, we don't have time to be sitting there catering to feelings no more. We in the crisis. We gotta fucking tell people what it is. If they don't like it and they end up hating you for it, so be it. But if you know me personally, every woman that knows me personally, outside of the ones that want to get mad because they just ain't having their way, but for the most part, they be like, nah, that dude got mad love for black women because I do. So you can't. It's really no hate for them. Like Fakila said as a joke, but she knows Jerry. Nah, that nigga got hella love for women, but he's gonna hold you accountable.
Accountable, as we should.
When you're wrong, you're wrong, bro.
That's
I'm
how
gonna
I
do
do
the same thing for men. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
Right on. And that's our duty to hold them accountable. That's what the Creator put in us to do. That's why we have, but back. So Jamie, let's do a quick recap on the topic at hand. When a woman runs,
it's not no misogynistic because I said they in cable. Most of them aren't.
But D keeps stirring the pot. Let me respond to D real quick. When a woman runs for office, it's never as unanimous as it is for men. It's very divided, and there's always a reason. Well, D, we fight the wars, we run the country. So I mean, I see what she's saying, but as the head of the household, and I'm speaking that, damn, now what the hell she done? All right, take it from that, Jen. I was raised in a family full of men, and they said they don't raise.
Bro, this is the thing. Most of the time, this gonna be sound like another misogynistic thing, but most of the time, let's be real. Women vote out of emotions. Most of the time, they vote out of how somebody make them feel instead of what's the logical, best thing to vote.
They don't raise damsels in distress. I hear that all in. Go ahead, Jamie. Well,
I'm not trying to say you are misogynistic, but that statement sounded that way. I'll just make that clear. It's not meant as an attack on you guys, but I mean, it's all good. I'm like I always tell people on here, I'm always for, a good spiritual debate and stuff like that, as long as we keep it respectful. And I'm always be respectful to everybody who always come on here, unless you come to me disrespectful, then it's a little different. But hey.
Right. And Safira, we've had that discussion, me and Jamie in private conversation. I told him he was gonna get hit with that. So it's no surprise to me. But he is who he is. I accept him for who he is, and we all have to grow and learn to accept each other. We get our views from our, conditions, how we came up, nature nurture stuff. But I don't want to waste too much time on that. All right, I will vote. The market's still stuck on Condoleezza instead of voting for Hillary.
I agree with you all in. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's crazy though because there's so many emotional men. So she right about that. So when we take them now. I'm not feminine.
That's a thing too. Some of the times a woman can respectfully check you, and they'll get mad. excuse me,
That-
they
hey,
get mad because you're
that's
being
a hell of
honest
a-
with them,
That's
and
a
now
hell of a-
you're masculine. But
it's crazy,
I'm
though.
gonna say this: it all depends on your tone of how you deliver.
Tone matters big time.
Yeah.
Hey, that's worth another read. Though. You said it's crazy though because it's so many emotional men. So when we check them now, when we check them now, I'm not feminine enough. That's what she's saying. So we got to work that out. Hopefully the reparations they can put that. Jamie, let's get back to the reparations. We trying to put our our gender relations back together. We trying to put our families back together, and that's a part of the mental health part of the reparations. D, Sapphira, everybody, and I blame women the most. We're most of the problem. Yeah. Well, when it comes to black culture, it's 7% women, 6% men. So y'all only got us about 1%. Tone is feelings, though. Tone is feelings. That's a fact. Go ahead, Jane.
So to wrap this thing up, I wanted to also touch on how the reparations thing with us can also play a part in the rest of the world, because as far as I know, I don't think the Caribbean that were also enslaved in other areas, they haven't received reparations to, from the people that's enslaved them, like the Haitians with the French, the Virgin Islands with the British, Jamaicans with the who enslaved the Jamaicans? Not exactly sure. But anyways, my point is, I believe if we could get this thing done, though, it would affect the rest of them because they're going to put more pressure on, the areas that enslaved them to be like, hey, y'all owe us too. The Black Americans got theirs. It's time y'all go ahead and give us that. And then, us as a people, as a whole. Because even though, we are FBA here, at the end of the day, that's still our brother and sister.
Yeah, for sure.
Over there.
Yeah, this is family business, though. Reparations is family business. So, just like in your personal family, different households may be like, hey, we cousins and all, but this our immediate family business, and that's the situation with FBA, Black Americans. This is our immediate cultural business. Let us handle our business, and if you're not going to support us, just get out the way. That's pretty much what we're saying to the our Black immigrant family. Like, if y'all not going to show more support, then you in the way, and you really, you kind of hating on our paper, our money. You know what I'm saying? So now we see your true color.
Mm-hmm.
See me get back in that comment section. Yeah, Kevin Samuel sounds like Horace from Beauty.
Let me find out that's where Tyler Perry got that character from, DeMarcus.
Yeah, Kevin Samuel sounds like Horace from Beauty in Black No Time. If I hurt your feelings, yes, business mindset. Set my grandparents were pillars of the community in South Dallas. So all in, just for clarity, you saying Jasmine is not from Oak Cliff or now. What I know about Dallas, I dated a girl from Dallas when I was in college, so I know a little bit about Dallas. And y'all hoods are Oak Cliff, South Oak Cliff. I know y'all high school just won a couple state championships, and South Dallas. So you saying Jasmine Crockett is not from there, one of them?
If Claudia Lisa Rice ran against Michelle Obama, who would y'all vote for? Rice.
She may be from here, but didn't know if her. Oh, I get what you're saying. All right, so yeah, if she's from there, she's from there. All right, back to you, Jamie. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all. I'm saying about this reparation is bigger and deeper than what we think. And then the thing is, it's like, oh yeah. Also, what I want to say, I remember us when we was talking. You mentioned about how the Japanese were saying how hard they had to fight to get their reparations passed. Even though I'm just saying, even though they got it passed within a year. That's bad. But still, you say we were able to obtain the documents that they used in order to get theirs passed, and we're kind of like mirroring theirs a bit, if I'm not mistaken, right? We're mirroring what they made for theirs to get paid to get us ours. So, we're in contact with some of them or something like that, or we just so happen to just look at what they got passed through, and then if you know that, I don't know.
Yeah, I know that. I didn't want to jump in until you were spent. Yeah, I've observed with my own. I've been in rooms where you see the Japanese people in there working with us side by side. I've been in rooms where they speak. They'll get up on the panel and everything. That's how I could give you the location. It was this year. It was at the NAACP building on Wilshire Boulevard in LA. That's the SAG-AFTRA building. And the Japanese supporters, they was there then, and they stood up. They were like, yeah, man, y'all could pray, but you're going to have to fight too. So in that moment, they was letting us know this is a first-hand account. I'm telling you what I heard and saw with my own eyes and ears. It was earlier this year. And she's like, yeah, we fought. We didn't ask, we didn't beg, we pleaded our case. Yeah, we did our spiritual stuff, but we put in work. We was on the government neck about their checks, and that's how they got it. So that's the message they wanted us to know. Like, yo, this ain't no walk in the park. This ain't a piece of cake. You got one thing, and thanks for saying that, Jamie. I want to get this point out there real quick. The knowledge I've learned, y'all know knowledge is powerful. Some people think and feel like we're wasting our time. Just the understanding I have of the system we live in now is worth all the time I spend researching and learning about all the information relating to this stuff, man. Knowledge is power, especially when you know how to use it and when to use it. So, yeah, that's it.
So, I 100% agree with that. Because I remember we actually had this talk too. That I think us as Black Americans as a whole, we rely too much on prayer. And I'm not saying nothing's wrong with prayer, but we'll do that and be like, oh, this is what I want. Let me just pray on it. I'm going to keep praying on it every day, and God's going to deliver it to me. It doesn't work like that.
Right. Scientifically.
You're going to have to fight for it.
Yeah. Or at least, even if you don't want to use the word fight, at least work or put some effort. So the prayer is the electric connection to the universe. And then you still have to put some effort into it. You know what I mean? You just can't lay there. You can't pray and lay in the bed and then expect the world to come to you. So your electric, but we got the science proof of it. Now, our brain activity is powered by electricity. So when you pray, or even when we're having this conversation right now, there's an electric connection to the creator of the universe. But the creator of the universe is expecting you to put in some effort about it. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like, it's also kind of like, what Malcolm X said. Malcolm X basically was saying that we're the only group of people that, all the other groups that got their independence and freedom, they got it through war. We're the only group of people that think we're going to achieve it through peace. And it's the truth.
Yeah, that's for a person that's not a violent guy, that's a tough pill to swallow, and it is the truth. I gotta second your emotion. It is and I'm gonna prove it to you that it is the truth. Even when you, not to get religious, we're gonna approach the Bible as an academic book. Let's just look at the Bible like it's not like it's a novel, but it's a book, and our observation is academic, not religious, spiritual. He sent the Israelites to war. When you go in that Old Testament, them dudes stayed in war. Them our ancestors. Our ancient, and there were cases where there was generations.
Spare no one, slaughter everybody, everything.
Yeah, man. That's
including women and children.
Yeah, damn, Jamie, I ain't know you knew that much. Yeah, so
come on, my mama had me in church every damn day.
That proves your point, bro. What you said, it ain't gonna be no peaceful, And I'm not a violent guy, so I try to use intelligence as much as possible. Some people say violence is when you run out of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? But the facts of what you just said are true, man. Nations go to war all the time, and a lot of Frederick Douglass said that power demands nothing. Power concedes nothing without a demand. Now the Japanese. Now we can get back to reparations. So reparations, not revolution, but the Japanese didn't have to go to war.
Who's saying? I don't understand where this is coming up from, the Demarcus, because nobody has said anything like that. So I would like to know where this comment is coming from, because we haven't said anything about telling immigrants to go back to where they came from. That's kind of crazy. We haven't said anything close to that. I'm not against immigrants being here, but I will say this: if somebody's coming in your house creating commotion and stuff like that, you're gonna limit to who the hell you allowed to come in there. I will say that. But I mean, who said something about them? I mean, I look at them as, you know, as brothers and sisters and stuff, just like I do our brothers, you know, our Black Americans. I mean, I to keep it 100, we come first, but nobody ever said go back to where you came from.
They say we ducking questions in here. DeMarcus say, wait a minute, Sapphira, they won't answer that question. No, which question? Because
the one I'm addressing right now, that's what he's talking about. But nobody said that. So what the hell are they talking about?
They talking about the Ice Baby stuff that was going on when the ice raids first happened. And here's the reality. I ain't gonna say the truth. Here's the reality. Some of us, when I say us, Black Americans, were sort of cheering on, and that comes from what we talked about in other shows, the pain of being put down, the pain of being looked down upon. So it was like that was karma showing other communities, yeah, y'all not as special as you think you are. So there were some people, and now you got to think, bro, it's 40 million of us, so all of us not going to be on the same page mentally like that. So there were people amongst our 40 million that was cheering on. They was out there chanting Ice Ice Baby, the Vanilla Ice song. And that because they felt like that was the universe bringing karma to people who had been looking down on us all these decades. Clear people have no valid land themselves to go. They got the caucus. That's why they call it. Yeah, you still got the
they ain't gonna go back to that.
I like how you word that. You about the clear people. The clear people. That's all in from South Dallas. Yeah, what all in they do have to do. That's why they call them Caucasians. They got the Caucasus Mountains like Russia and all that. And we're not trying to come off. You know, we just putting the facts out there. We don't want no.
But I just don't get away just because of the ice and stuff. Like I said, just because we say we're not going to go on the front line to fight for them.
Yeah, we definitely not going on the front line.
I'll say it. I'm damn sure not.
Yeah, I'm not either. Yeah, we tired right now. We taking a break. We've been on the front line, you know, for a long time. So so that goes back to the humble pie. It's an opportunity for all the other groups to see how our value. Like, yeah, shit don't really move until our motion get out there. You know what I mean? So here's what, before we close the show out, man, I just want everybody to know, whether you're listening now or later, it's recommendation time. It's implementation of reparation recommendation time. So we got to come up with the best ideas, and most importantly, these recommendations cannot violate the Civil Rights Law Act. So remember what Dr. King died for. When he died for the civil rights, that got rid of all of that race discrimination. That's what he died for. That's part of what he died for. So when his efforts, and not just his, when the civil rights movement efforts was rewarded with the Civil Rights Act, which is a legal law right now, the reparation recommendations we come up with now cannot violate. And they're basically saying, as long as it don't violate the civil rights law, you know, the cities, counties, and states across the country can implement whatever reparation recommendations they see fit. That's where we are as of today. Take it from there, Jane.
Yeah, I mean, we know this with Dr. King.
But let me get on all. Oh, my bad, Jake. All in back in the comment section. So I need to ask all in. Most of them are not connected to the ancestry. So all in, what's our ancestry? Is it sub-Saharan Africans that didn't have writing and reading until the 1800s, or is it the biblical Israelites in the Bible? What's your answer to that? Because take it, my bad, Jay. I kind of got excited when you got it, Jay. My bad. Because remember we had that conversation. All in talking about most of them are not connected, and God is so good because we got the Bible to connect us to our ancestry. If it wasn't for that book, we would be lost. And think about this: we the only group of people on the planet Earth that's been disconnected from their ancestry. You don't think that's worthy of reparations? Think about that. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and out of all the different human race groups, Black Americans, biblical
We're the only
Israel.
ones that don't know for sure.
Come on,
where
fam. Come on, put it out there, Jamie. Don't let me do this by myself. That's a fact. Think about that. I want everybody, whether you listening now or later, think about that shit, man. Pardon my language, but damn, out of all the humans on Earth, we the only group that's been disconnected from our roots. And you telling me that shit don't deserve? Take it from there, bro.
Yeah, I mean they know that shit. And DeMarcus, it ain't nothing wrong. You saying you hate to say it? I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Like, you know, when you go at that, not only that, you know, when you go to the other places and stuff like that, you get actual real fruit, vegetables, and like, you know, that without the animals that you're eating being tampered with, it is what it is. This is I will say this is absolutely a sacred land, but the problem is it's been tampered with. Like they have poisoned the land here because they're trying to lower our vibration because they don't want us to manifest to our true essence of what we used to be. So that's the reason why they're doing that shit.
That's key.
It's crazy. It's this guy that I know. He be doing the comedy clips, but he, at the same time, is real. I wish I knew exactly where to find it now. I'll play it right now. But basically what he'll do is this black guy. He'll act like he's one of the leaders of the people that's controlling the world. And he'd be like, he'll have somebody come to him with a crisis and be like, "Sir, they're starting to wake up. They're starting to notice who they really are. What should we do, sir?" And he'd be like, "You should poison the food supply, the water." You know, "Yes, we already did that, sir. Lower their vibration with vaccines. I thought we already did that with COVID, sir. They're still coming.
They're still coming."
And then he'll come up with like a new tactic. He'd be like, add this to they what he say? He said, poison the animals. Make it toxic for them to eat it. He's like, "You're an evil genius, sir." He's like, "Yes, that way. But what about and then what about when they start to talk about it? Make it punishable by law if they speak on anything about it." He said, "But that's speaking with their friend." It was so funny, bro. It was funny, but at the same time, it was real, bro. Because I'm pretty sure they do shit like that.
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. From the fluoride in the water, like you said, to the poison in the food and all that stuff, man. So, you know, but the main thing you said was keeping the vibration low. That's key for me. And that ain't hard to experience just moving through society. They do that on purpose. Keep the vibration low so, you know, a lot of miracles happen when you can raise the vibration.
But anyways, though, I think we're going to get ready to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Like always, appreciate everybody that stopped through, you know, shared your comments, shared your views and your thoughts. It's always a better and more appealing, you know, live show when we are doing it. We don't always have to agree, but you know, as long as we are able to keep it respectful and, you know, be able to substantiate our arguments, I think it makes for a good show. So, you know, big shout out to everybody that's through it. Taj, like I always, appreciate you stopping through, you know, informing the people with more reparation knowledge. We're going to continue to do this, you know, every Wednesday. And I guess we'll have to catch, you know, everybody on the next show. Keep in mind, before I go, Reparations Wednesday, we will be doing this, the last segment of Wednesday, every Wednesday. So if you want to come get some more knowledge and see what's new with the reparations and stuff like that, we're going to be hosting it every Wednesday.
Appreciate you.
I'll be doing the morning show in general. You know, I try to do 5 days out of the week. You know, sometimes things might come up that I may miss a day or so, but that'll be, you know, normal 5 days a week. But the reparation talk is going to be dedicated on Wednesdays.
All right. Hey, I appreciate
Hey, I
the time.
appreciate that, Marcus. Hey, Safari. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right too. But definitely appreciate you coming through, man. Shared your opinions and stuff like that. But trust me, I'll never get offended or angry with your, opinion that you have. You can ask DeMarcus that and Ali, and Talia. They're here. They're regulars. So I'll never get angry with you for having an opinion. Long as you keep it respectful. Now, if you start saying you a B and all that, then that's when things go get. If you just stating your opinion and stuff like that, hey, that's your opinion, and it still makes for a good show. So I appreciate you coming in.
Talia say, I don't often catch the morning show, but I'm glad I caught this.
Yes, ma'am.
Shout out to
I'm always happy to see you whenever you come through. You say, do I know the channel Bad Faith? I can't say that I do.
No, same here.
Well, before we get up out here, go ahead and inform us what is Bad Faith. Try to look it up. Taj, they asking how do they follow you?
Oh, on Twitter, especially for the reparation stuff, follow me at Taj Hollywood on X. Type in Taj Hollywood, you should see me in the profile photo. And then if you can scroll, for those of you that's on X, you can also log in. I should have said this first, tajhollywood.com. And that's sort of like my link tree. That'll take you to all my social stuff. On my YouTube channel, I produce rom-com, melodrama, content. So I don't really put the reparation stuff on my YouTube channel. That's all for my rom-com material. But so me and Jamie link up and do the reparation stuff. Now, that'll take you to my YouTube. That'll take you to my X and other channels. Thanks for asking that. And if you want to learn, get that. Yep. Thanks, James. That's it right there. TajHollywood.com. All right, D, you have a good day too. And we appreciate the comments. Hannah Nicole. She's a good source of info. I'm forgetting her name, but it's a black lady journalist. Okay, we got to get her on here. Hopefully I could be in your night live talking about power and beauty and black tonight. Shout out to DeMarcus. All in. Shout out All In. How do we follow Taj? Thanks, All In. Yep, TajHollywood.com. That'll take you to my YouTube movie channel and my X channel. I mostly focus on reparations on X. That's all I really talk about. That whole channel was dedicated to my X channel. I'm familiar with that name, Brianna Joy Gray. I can't with it, but I've seen that name. She was with the Intercept. UAN TV, people will ban or time me out for going against them. Who is them? Hannah Nicole? All right. Yeah, I look forward to the follow, and I follow back, All in. Yep, y'all mess around and go to my X channel. That I got all the notes on there as far as the reparation recommendation. I got all the notes on there, and I pull from the experts. I do my own research, and it's just an endless scroll of just different posts. And what made me go ham on X is when I found out that Elon Musk had the option to end world hunger for $6 billion. And he chose to buy Twitter for 40. Let me say that again in English. Elon Musk asked the United Nations to print up an invoice or print up like a budget receipt. I'm saying that wrong. He asked the United Nations how much would it cost to get rid of world hunger. The United Nations got back to him with a $6 billion ticket. And he pushed that to the side and went and bought Twitter for $50 billion. So that's when I said, you know what? I'm gonna just use this channel only for reparation recommendations.
Well, DeMarcus, you know, I try my best to monitor that when people are unwarrantedly timing people out just for an opinion. I told, support to stop doing that. They want to never try to silence anyone for their opinion unless they're spamming. And DeMarcus, you're a moderator, and Ali and Talia, y'all have the power to do the same thing. If they're spamming or being disrespectful, like if you see people calling people out of their name and stuff like that, doing bullshit like that, then yeah, you have my permission without asking. Get their ass out of here. But yeah, that was Cole called me. The call I picked up.
Oh, let him know I said what up, Jane. Tell Cole what up. He done went off. All right, next time you hear from him.
I got it.
He said Elon is definitely a white nationalist, capitalist. He doesn't care about world. Yeah, we clearly know that now.
Well, of course, when you got that much money and world hunger still exists and you ain't did nothing about it, we know he don't care.
And the offensive part, was why even he asked the United Nations. The United Nations didn't hit him with the bill. He asked him, hey, how much is the bill to get rid of world hunger? And all of this took place within like the same year or two. So the same year he asked for that, either a year before or after, he, maybe he still got plans to do it, but what we know as of now, he chose to spend an extra $35 billion to buy Twitter instead of ending world hunger for $6 billion. I mean, just do the money math on that. 50 billion minus 6 billion. I mean, he spent the extra 44 billion to buy Twitter. So from that point, I was like, man, I'm gonna just use your platform, and that's all I put on X is that. But let's grow together, everybody, man. I'm really proud and to be a part of this movement. I've been doing my research, and they saying what's going on right now is what you got going on, Jamie. Just starting from the grassroots and growing with your people. Your people start inviting more people. I was just reading an article about that. I think they called it affinity economy. Affinity. So I know you heard of creator economy. They're saying the creator economy is kind of fading out. They're saying the creator economy is kind of 2024 already, and now we're going into what they call infinity economy, which is in the
seeing more and more. You're seeing more and more celebrities trying to get into this. Yeah.
To a Nazi haven, damn.
Yeah, I was reading that comment. That's crazy. I'm not on Twitter as much, so I don't really know what be going on with that. But it wouldn't surprise me. I've been in the way a long time since you told me that.
Support gaming 2026. I'm trying to be.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had that talk. Yeah.
The world would be a better place if we all strive to do that. Just be fair. Imagine that, man. We'll be in harmony.
Well, unfortunately, since the beginning of time, fair has never been a thing. I'm sorry. People don't care about fair.
But that's heaven on earth if we ever want to experience it. That would be a key part of it. Because if we keep going, if the goal is who gonna win the human race, like who the fight for survival, I mean, ain't nobody gonna make it out alive. So that's one race group putting other race groups down because they trying to win the human race. They trying to be the last standing, and that's just not the way to go. What's the result? I mean, I don't know. But harmony, I think harmony is worth the effort. I would love to see human harmony before I clock out. I hope I live a long life. But it'd be cool to just see how it is, man. Just have and that's the ultimate goal. But I ain't trying to get all preachy on y'all. Go ahead. Harmony, where everybody kind of, we're going to have our share of drama. You got to have some drama. Everybody wants some drama. We get that. But it don't have to be this damn bad. All right, Jay, I'm down to 6%.
All right. We better go ahead and close it out, though, people. For sure, like always, I'm going to be definitely back later on tonight. Pretty much. It's possible, you guys, that I might start the live an hour sooner than I normally do, because I know East Coasters, you guys, it's pretty late for you guys. So, try to give you that extra hour for people that I know do be wanting to attend the live. But, it'd be kind of late for y'all because I know if it's 1 here, it's like 2 there. So that's pretty late. So maybe just that 1 hour could help, people be able to attend it. But yeah, just pay attention to the community. I'll let you guys know one time for sure I'll be doing it. And I'll catch a lot of you guys later on tonight. But like I said, appreciate everybody step through. But until next time, I appreciate you.
Much love.